Hello, everybody. How are we all doing?
Hello, DM Dan.
Hello.
Yeah, Dan.
Hello,
Been a while.
hello. Yes, it has been a while. We are back with a slew of beautiful new faces. How are we all doing? And Anton.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
New faces, new beautiful faces, and Anton.
Right.
Yes, welcome. Welcome to the one
Hello.
shot.
What are we playing tonight, DM Dan?
One shot.
One shot.
One shot.
We are playing a beautifully whimsical little game called Goblin Quest. A fantastic game by Grant Howitt. It's
Amazing.
been out for quite a while. It's been on our radars for slightly less time than it's been out. But yeah, we've wanted to play it for yonks, so here we are. First things first, because I've only got 1 in 4 regular faces here. But obviously, hello, Anton. Who are our guests? First and foremost, Chris and Nate. Welcome.
Chris.
Nate.
That was Chris, and that was Nate. All the way from the sunny climates of the Rough Sketch podcast. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to your first proper Explorers game.
Yes. I'm in.
Very good.
Squatters' rights. You can't get me out. Yes. Welcome. We are really, really glad to have you. And then also from an even sunnier and tropical climate, all the way from the lands of Proxy Table Gaming. Hello, staff, and all
Good evening.
Hyper G. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is exciting. It's a quest. Anything with quest in the title is exciting. I'm excited.
Goblin
Yes.
Quest. That sounds intriguing.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, staff, as the bona fide star listener, star
Superfan.
audience member. We thought it only appropriate to have you in on the one shots. So again,
Yeah.
very pleased to have you along.
I would love it if someone would overtake me as chief commenter on the Explorers Verso channel, but they're not going to do it because I'm going to keep commenting. So yeah.
Everyone post 2 comments per video
On
to
every
try and
video.
overtake staff here.
No, I don't think I've ever commented on a video. Ever.
We should.
Well,
Everyone should
now's a
comment on videos.
fantastic time to start. Yes. Before we move on, but where we have got you 3 guests in, Chris and Nate, where can we find you on the interwebs if we were interested in looking for you?
You can find me personally on my personal account. I am at Catharsis Jelly pretty much everywhere. I'm starting new accounts when Twitter burns to the ground. If Twitter burns to the ground. I'm still at Catharsis Jelly. Or you can look for Rough Sketch Podcast, which is roughsketch.online. And we have links to Twitter and so on and so forth. And I'll let Nate do the rest.
So again, you can also find me at Rough Sketch Podcast, and also you can find me at NJ Adam Art, and that's pretty much the same everywhere as well.
Beautiful. And Mr. Hyper G, where can we find you lurking about on the internet?
You would find me along with Lucky Sixes at the Proxy Table Gaming YouTube channel. He does a lot of the social medias, so I'm going to read off where else you can find him and me. So on Twitter it is Lucky Sixes PTG. Instagram you can find PTG Gobbo, and then on the 9H forum we're everywhere. So yeah.
Beautiful. And yes, you can find us right here. And if you haven't already subscribed, then smack the like button, smack the subscribe button, because this is the second of 8 one-shots in our little one-shot window.
Gonna be busy then.
It's gonna be a busy time, and I don't want any of you to miss out on it. So, without further ado, who wants to go on a Goblin Quest?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what is Goblin Quest?
Are we
Um,
questing for goblins? Are we trying to find them?
Yeah.
You
Lost the
that
goblins.
that may accidentally end up being the the quest, but no. You are all the collective psyches and the hive mind networks of your own respective goblin clutches, because in this weird and wonderful fantasy world where there's a large war camp that is run by evil wizards with an army of large and brutish orcs, slimy and bureaucratic hobgoblins, sneaky and bloodthirsty bugbears, all opposed to the armies of good with all the nambly-pamblies like the humans and the elves and the dwarves. Rubbish, yeah. As dictated by fate, every week the armies of evil have to trample into the lands of good and go to war. But to fight a war, you need soldiers, and this is where the goblins come in. The goblins are spawned from the goblin pits in the center of the camp, inexplicably in groups of 5. And the goblins are spawning all the time, and they accompany the orcs and bugbears and wizards to war. And when the war's finished, everyone comes home except the goblins, and the cycle begins anew. So
Goblins don't come back.
yes, for one reason or another, the goblins don't come back. However, we find your respective goblin clutches having slipped through the cracks in the hobgoblin bureaucracy of the war camp, and you find yourselves spawned into the world, supposedly with the purpose of going to war, but you've been missed, and the goblins have left, and you find yourselves purposeless. So, as all good goblin clutches would do, you have banded together in order to take on a goblin quest to give yourselves. You will forge your own purpose for tonight, for this one shot. So, as I've said multiple times now, you are your respective goblin clutches. So we'll go around the houses, starting with Anton. What is the? Tell me about your goblin clutch. What is their honorific title? What is their surname?
They're called the Fellowship of the Avengers.
Good. And when the goblins of the Fellowship of the Avengers spawned into this world, what did they discover was their expertise, their built-in, genetically pre-programmed talent?
I think they were born to be actors and doppelgangers. That's really what they're.
And what's the expertise? What specifically? What thing can they do to help them accomplish that? Impressionism.
Painting, yes.
Cool. So they're good at impressions. What is their quirk?
Catchphrases, then. Their quirk is they just love a good catchphrase.
Okay, good. What is the dream of the Fellowship of the Avengers?
The Fellowship, their dream is to make it big and to be recognized for their true talent.
Okay, and to help them accomplish this, what is their generational, like ancestral heirloom that's passed from goblin to goblin?
They have one ring to rule them all, which may just be a washer, or a Cheerio, or a Fruity Loop, or a very small donut. But they have one ring to rule them all. Yeah.
Brilliant. And what is the first name? What is the name of your first goblin?
Gilbo Gabbings.
Of course it is. Okay. Right. So we have Gilbo. Right.
Yeah, Gilbo. Yeah.
Gilbo.
And he's very excited about going on an adventure.
I'm sure he is. Yeah. Cool. Next up, Nate. What is your clutch honorific, your clutch surname.
My clutch surname is the Kidney Beans.
Oh,
Okay.
cute.
Very cute, very cute. And what is the innate expertise of the kidney beans?
Their expertise is causing distractions, but
Okay.
it might also lead to them being distracted, which is then also causing a distraction.
Very good. Very, very good. And what is their quirk?
The quirk is that they will eat, or at least try to eat, anything that they think looks tasty.
Admirable. Very, very admirable. What do they dream to... What is their dream? What do they wish to accomplish in their week on this planet?
Very much relating to their quirk, it's to eat or drink the most tastiest thing ever.
Okay, very good. And lastly, what is their ancestral heirloom to help them do this?
This is a very special heirloom. It is the marking stick of truth.
Okay.
And it's totally... And it can tell the truth depending on which special lever you click on it. And it's totally not one of those multi-nibbed biros where only the green nib works.
Oh, right.
Okay. Brilliant. What is your first goblin called?
He's called Compost.
Compost kidney beans. Brilliant. Okay, go. Right, so we have Compost and Gilbo. Okay, so that's the kidney beans. Chris, talk to me about your clutch. What is their honorific, their surname?
They are called Goff. Goff. Goff.
Goff. Okay, very good. What are the Goff clutch good at?
They're really good at catching things,
Okay.
which include diseases, people, passing fireballs,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
This isn't gonna go badly at all. Brilliant. Okay, so catching things. What is their quirk?
They fall in love way too easily.
Oh, that's cute.
They've got like a big heart, and it's a defect.
What do what do goblins fall in love with?
Everything,
Everything. Okay.
including other goblins.
What do the Goths wish to do? What is their dream?
Their greatest dream is to imprison an impressive beast to honor the Dark Lord, of course.
Okay. And what is their heirloom that will help them do this?
They found this small silver thing at one point. It's got a little bell on the end, and it's got like a hole at the front, and they wear it around the chain on a chain around their neck, and it's called the Shrieker. And if this comes across on camera, it looks a little bit like that. And they know that when wind passes through it, it makes a really loud noise.
Okay.
Right.
Which
is probably useful.
So we have the Shrieker. Okay. What is the vanguard goblin of the Goths?
The first goblin is called Nin. Nin.
Nin. Okay.
There's a theme, and I'll let you see how long it takes you to find out what the theme is.
Okay.
This fills me with
That's mysterious.
mountains of dread. Okay, last but not least, Staff. Who are your clutch, good sir?
We are the Green Ages.
Green Ages, okay. And what are the Green Ages expertised in?
They are expertised at being moody.
Oh, okay. I see what's happening here.
Mm.
What is the quirk of the Green Ager clutch?
Unnaturally sweaty skin.
Oh, very useful.
We'll see.
Okay. What is the dream of the Green Ages?
Naturally, the dream is to avoid employment at all costs.
Oh.
Makes sense. That tracks. Last but not least, what is their ancestral heirloom?
It is the formidable fly swatter.
Does it have batteries, or is it just a...
No, it's just formidable.
It's just formidable. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Okay,
No
who
other
is...
question unnecessary. I'm not sure why you're interrogating me. Please stop.
Who is the first Greenager to take the stage?
That would be Zot. Z-O-T.
Zot
Zot.
Greenager. Brilliant. Okay, so we oh no. We have our goblins. We have our clutches and we have everything there. So as I say, we are going on a Goblin Quest. Now, the next step of our adventure is to figure out what the Goblin Quest is. So the first question is, what do your 20 goblins want to do? So each of your clutches has a goal, has a dream. So fundamentally, we now have to come to a common consensus. We have to figure out some sort of quest that encompasses all of your dreams. So it needs to be a quest that has motes of being recognized for your true talents, imprison or capture an impressive beast, to eat or drink the tastiest thing, and avoid employment. So where do we want to go with this?
We need to go find the tastiest beast and not be employed whilst doing it. So what would be the tastiest beast? I don't know.
We can't do it for anyone else. We have to do it for ourselves.
Yeah. Try and that would be quite impressive. So I think we need to find the tastiest beast, which would obviously be a.
I've heard a rumor that out there somewhere there's a beast that's really evil, and it lays these white things that you can eat.
Oh, that would be good. I like it. I like the idea.
But
No.
I don't know what it is. I don't know why it exists.
Well, eggs are tasty. Yeah.
Well,
We need to find the biggest eggs, really. If we want
please bear in mind that at this current point in time, the Fellowship of the Avengers, the Goths, the Kidney Beans, and the Greenagers are at most an hour old.
Yeah.
So whatever these white things that come out the back end of the beast are, no clue what they are. Bear that in mind.
But they're tasty, right?
You've heard their taste.
So we've been told.
Right. So we're
you've
gonna
been
go
told.
find the tasty thing.
Okay. Right. So we're gonna look for so you're gonna track down this beast that layeth the tasty stones.
Yes. And that will be very impressive. There you go. And we won't be employed whilst doing it.
And maybe they produce them in clutches, so there could be enough for one each. I don't know.
Can we also eat the beast?
Maybe.
Great.
Maybe you eat the beast and then the stones.
Are the stones inside the beast?
Those are inside the beast.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Now we know. Brilliant.
So the plan is to
Very simple, Dan.
track down.
You're the only one who don't get the plan.
But Dan,
Yeah,
we're gonna go find the tasty eggs. That's what we're gonna go do.
I've got to write this down. So we're going to track down the beast.
Where do eggs
for
come from?
For the tasty stones, without being asked to do it, but then presumably for the whole recognize your talent, you then have to show off the fact you've got these tasty stones, right?
Yeah.
Right, so you've got to
Tell everyone how tasty they is.
So you're gonna have to return, presumably, to the camp to show off.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
The tasty rocks.
Then you basically become like a VIP. You're famous. You have the egg.
Right.
We can show the Dark Lord, and the Dark Lord might, promote us.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right, we have a quest. Okay, so next question. What materials do you need to do it? And we have to break this down into a three-stage plan. So, what materials do you need to acquire to go on your quest to find the mystical beast that lays the tasty eggs that you're going to abscond with and return back to the camp to show off to get prestige without being asked to do it. When I say what materials, for example, if you wanted to go to war, you'd need armor, weapons, and transport. If you wanted to throw a fancy party, you'd need cake, jelly, and hats. So, what
Need bait, right?
bait? Oh,
Bait's
God.
good.
Need
A
rocks,
cage.
A net.
cage.
A
Net
net.
would be good.
And
Net
a
would be good.
fork.
And a-
Prodder.
yeah, a prodder.
Prodder. Yes.
Prodder.
A prodder. Yes.
Okay.
Big
Fork for
prodder.
eating. Plate.
Big.
I don't know. Would
prodder.
goblins be particularly polite to put their food on a plate? I don't think so.
Right. So we're talking nets.
Bucket.
We're talking prodders.
A
Talking
bucket.
buckets. We're
Bait.
talking bait. Do
Yeah.
we know what sort of bait? No, we don't.
I'm gonna try all the baits.
Okay, so
Go looking
We
up all
know-
the smelly things. That's bait.
I guess we know what we think we want to get. Where could we get it from?
Where the scary cave.
Where would we? Where do you reckon the goblins might be able to find nets, prodders, buckets, bait, cages?
I probably have to go to the human place.
Yeah.
I've heard the Dark Lord's personal assistant has some nets, and they wear them on their legs.
Yeah.
You're not
Apparently,
wrong.
they keep like these animals in them from time to time, as well as their legs.
You're
they're
not
like-
wrong.
Wet,
Okay.
weird animals with fins.
Are we? Are we happy to if we had nets that were taken from the Dark Lord's
Personal assistant.
personal assistants? Yeah, we happy? Do we reckon we can get away with those nets? They'll be good.
Of course we can.
Yeah, of course we can. Right.
Why wouldn't we?
Personal assistants.
I
Right.
have no idea
okay.
what's happening next, by the way. I don't know what we're setting us up to.
This is the beauty of the Goblin Quest. Right. Okay. So
let's see.
we know
They're
we know
planning.
we know what we need. We know where to get them. So let's break this down into 3 stages. So, I guess stage 1, or step 1 of stage 1 is, I guess you're gonna have to make your way into the Dark Tower.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. So
But there,
Enter-
that's easy.
We
enter
can
the
use
Dark-
these cracks that you were talking about earlier that we slipped through. Yes.
Enter the Dark Tower. We then need to find a personal assistant.
The personal assistant.
Find a or the personal assistant.
We're going to be stealing their stockings. That's really what the nets are.
Who's to say, Anton? Who's to say? Find some personal assistant, and then relieve personal assistant of the nets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ah.
Steal nets.
In a bucket.
Acquire nets. I'm not going to put actions.
Borrow.
Borrow. Borrow the nets. Okay, cool. Right. So that will equip you with what you need. So what's next? Have you got everything you need? Do you need to get into position to enact your plan? Okay, so you've got the nets. So I guess stage 2
Forks.
be. Well, no, like so you've got everything you need for your quest. So I guess now you need to
Find the beast.
Yeah, find it.
Is there any kind of like pre-prep that you need to do before? Yeah, so I guess find the beast. Well, do you even know what you're looking for?
Yes.
I was going to say.
Yes.
How do you know what it is you're?
Big
It's in the
beast.
scary cave.
But like, so but surely you'll have to ask around to find
Yeah.
out. Like, where the
We can-
scary cave is, what the thing looks like when you find it.
We can
Sure.
ask the personal assistant. Can we have
Um,
these? And we've heard about a beast. Can you tell us what it is?
Okay. Well, okay. So figure out.
They're supposed to assist, right?
Exactly.
Of course.
Otherwise, they're not doing their job.
Of course.
And we're not doing our job.
No one should have a job.
Oh,
This ain't our job.
we have to stand employed, remember.
So we need to identify the mystery beast. I guess then you have to find out where it lives.
Yes. Yeah.
Remember to take the bait.
Lives.
Yeah.
And then
Although the bait might just be one of us, actually.
I know 4 goblins that have a good aroma.
Lure it.
I guess once you find out where it lives, I guess you then need to get there,
Yeah.
arrive at place. Okay. Cool. Okay, so you've arrived at the place. Next step, how are you actually going to do it? The stage is set, the goblins have everything they need. It's time to make a mark. So you hopefully at this point, on the chalkboard with your plannings drawn out on it, you've flawlessly identified the beast. You flawlessly found out where it lives, and you flawlessly arrived at its lair. What I guess the third phase is the getting of the tasty rocks.
Yeah. Yeah, trap it and stab it.
Prod
Still
it.
the eggs.
Trap it. Prod it.
Cut
Eggs.
it open. Rocks fall out.
Eat 'em.
Right. So I'm gonna say
This creature is either a chicken or a dragon. So somewhere between.
subdue the beast.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Right. So we're gonna subdue the beast. We're going to retreat. The second step is to retrieve the tasty stones,
Yeah, run away.
and then
You seem very mystified by this plan, Dan. This is all very simple,
Return
basic stuff.
return to camp. Get
If the
famous.
plan don't work, it's because you didn't follow the plan.
Exactly.
Eat
Okay.
rocks.
So, start to finish, you are going to enter the Dark Tower, find a personal assistant, acquire some netting. You're going to identify the mystery beast, identify where it lives, arrive at its lair. You're going to subdue the beast, retrieve the tasty stones, return to camp, get famous.
Great.
Pretty much.
We have a quest. Brilliant.
A Goblin Quest.
A Goblin Quest. Hey! Right. So,
Hey.
I do, however, this is public knowledge. I can tell you right now that
We won't succeed.
something
we knew
will
that.
go wrong, and
Oh.
that will happen in the first stage.
Superb.
What, chatting to the PA? Oh dear.
Misfortune. Okay, so the misfortune happens in stage 1.
Yeah.
So we will find out what the misfortune is. So that's a 2. Rolled by a 1. Okay.
You supposed to tell us, or is this going to be a surprise?
I'm gonna keep this one as a surprise, actually.
I'll look up the table then.
Beautiful. So I know when we all know when the misfortune is. I know what it is. I think it is time to begin. So there is in terms of this, the way this pans out, there is no kind of set order in who goes first or next. semi free for all. I think there's going to come points where theoretically one of the clutches will be able to, will be the sensible next clutch to take over. Generally speaking, I want you, we need you to describe what it is your clutch is doing, or your goblin in particular is doing. Give us a quick explanation of why you think that's the right thing to do. And then we roll a d6. We are playing the Go-Go Hyper Turbo Goblin Quest, which makes the dice rolls a bit spicier than normal, but that will become apparent in a bit. You roll a d6. If your expertise or your quirk or anything, or your heirloom, anything like that, if it is something you can use in whatever it is you're doing, and we think it makes sense, then you can get an additional d6 to roll when doing an action. Generally speaking, the higher you roll, the better. If you roll multiple results, generally speaking, all the results will apply. If your goblin happens to come to an unfortunate end, whatever the result, you describe it, and if your goblin happens to come to an unfortunate end, then your second goblin is named and immediately takes over.
I'm confused by you saying if.
If yeah, I'm feeling optimistic. So
Glad one of us is.
So you find yourselves stood approximately 30 meters from the goblin pits. The 20 of you are just kind of milling about, looking at one another, and you've just devised your Goblin Quest. You know that you're going to go off and find this mystical beast and come back with the tasty stones. The first step is
Tasty stones.
Tasty stones.
so the first off in the distance, you can see this imposing black stone tower that kind of looms over the camp.
Ooh.
You guys are here by the pits in the center of the camp. There are a number of orcs and hobgoblins and bugbears milling about, and up in the corner you can see the dark tower, obviously surrounded by a moat of lava, and yeah, there's all sorts of odd smells and strange coloured smokes coming off it, but you know that is the
Sorry
first...
about that.
That is the first destination on your quest in order to gain your prerequisite materials. So, who's leading the charge? How are you entering the Dark Tower?
Guys, I've got an idea. Right.
What's the idea?
We wait until somebody else goes into the tower and we hang on to their legs.
Yeah. Pretty good idea.
And they just take us in. Easy. That's my idea.
Yeah?
How about we get a big bit of black cloth, we get on each other's shoulders, and then we pretend to be the Dark Lord, and we go, "Hello, I'm the Dark Lord. Give me your nets."
I like that plan.
Or 2 Dark Lords.
Too many Dark Lords.
4 Dark Lords. Better than
4
1.
tiny Dark Lords.
Big Dark Lords.
The other idea I had was to use the trebuchet.
The what?
The flingy.
The flingy?
Oh, the flingy, you should have said so.
Yeah, the flingy. We sit in the flingy, we activate the flingy, and the flingy flings.
No, listen, use the flingy as the Dark Lord.
Dress as the Dark Lord, get in the flingy, grab onto someone's legs, go in.
It's perfect.
Okay. Okay, with that onslaught of ideas, who's gonna be brave enough to be the one that pulls the trigger? Who's gonna do the thing? Who's gonna roll the dice?
Right. So my goblins are very good at impressionism, like being doppelganger, which I think must include costumes, right?
So we can disguise ourselves really, really well as a Dark Lord. I know how to do it.
Okay. So,
Cosplay.
We gotta cosplay.
right. Okay. So, if we're if we're going down this line of thinking, Anton, if I could
Yes.
have Gilbo Gabbins of the Fellowship of the Avengers,
Yes.
you managed to kind of acquire some black cloth, and are you going as one Dark Lord, as two half-sized Dark Lords, as 4/4 Dark Lords?
I think the way it goes is like 5 goblins for the torso, like two and a half for the arms, right? And then like 2 for the head, and then a bunch of them like for the rest. So there's maybe 20 goblins in this costume.
Oh, okay, so we're just going to
Dark Lord is big. Make one.
crab all 20 goblins in. Right, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Just crawling all over the base. Yeah.
with Gilbo Gabbins, okay, so you all
We ain't being the legs.
you all crab in, you throw over the shawl, and Gilbo, it's your head that's popping up through the hood.
Right.
And as you approach,
Right.
you approach the trebuchet that for some in the camp,
Flingy.
that for some reason the flingy, sorry,
Flingy.
as you approach the
Flingy.
flingy, that for some reason is pointing at the Dark Tower. One of as you approach this huge, lumbering kind of grey, warty-skinned creature with a almost pig-like face and a big, heavy iron nose ring, with 3 other nose rings hanging off that nose ring like a key ring kind of thing, looks to you up and down and, "Well, what are you?" says this orc.
I'm the Dark Lord.
"You look a bit short for the Dark Lord," says this orc.
What do you mean? I'm taller than you. Don't speak to me like that. I'm the Dark Lord.
Okay, Anton, if you can roll me, so it's a standard D6. You're using impressions of your Dark Lord.
Yes.
I don't know if there are any catchphrases that you can use because you're only an hour old, and I don't think we know the.
Begone! I don't want any visitors.
We can't use the one Fruity Loop to rule them all. Okay, so that's 2 things. Roll me 2
Oh
D6.
wait, hold on. Wait, I can use the Fruity Loops.
Ow!
It makes us invisible, Dan.
I have a plan.
We put on the Fruity Loop,
As long as no one's watching, it makes us invisible.
and then it makes us invisible. At least
Right.
that's what my bunch of 5 goblins thinks. Is that when you put on the Fruity Loop, it makes you invisible.
Sure.
Our goblins put our hands over our eyes so that we think we're invisible.
Oh, look! Don't look! Don't look! I'm invisible.
Okay,
And that is a catchphrase of the Dark Lord. Don't look, I'm invisible.
you know, you know what? Okay, all right. Well, yeah, you can have it then. Roll 3d6.
Okay, let's see. Did it work? It worked.
Okay,
Huh?
a 4, a 5, and a 1. So we'll go from top to bottom, highest to lowest. So as you so you approach this orc and you convince him that, well, you attempt to convince him that you're the Dark Lord. You successfully manage to use one of his catchphrases whilst doing an impression of him. Victory! The orc looks to you and, I'm sorry, my lord, he says, and he kind of bows his head and kind of bangs a
We just
fist to his
walk
chest.
past him because we're invisible, right? So
We're
we
invisible, right?
and we're like,
Change your plan.
Don't look.
Just go
Don't
in
look!
the
We're
tower.
invisible.
Change your
You.
plan.
It's a victory. It's something good and death.
Yeah.
So,
oh, sorry, what?
so in doing this, Gilbo Gabbins has successfully convinced the orc, set something in motion that is good for the next goblin to roll, but has also died. So, Anton, if you could describe to me how this transpires.
So somebody needs to pull the lever for the trebuchet.
Uh-huh.
So Bilbo jumps off the trebuchet, off the
The thingy, the scoop. I'll go pull the lever. You stay here. And then once I've pulled it, I'll join back on. Wait, give him a minute.
and then he'll obviously try and push the lever, and it doesn't budge. So he'll try jumping on it, and it does budge, and then it flings back and squishes him.
Okay. Right.
And the other goblins get propulsed.
Right, so that's one victory, and Gilbo Gabbins is crushed by the knockback from the flingy. So with that, we say goodbye to Gilbo, and Anton will need a name for your second goblin, please.
Tony Starch, who likes potatoes, and once did a marathon eating contest of potatoes, which is why he's called the Iron Man.
Good. Okay. So, as you need 3 successes to get into the Dark Tower, so somewhere between the trebuchet firing you and you being in the tower, you need to find 2 more victories. So as the
Flap, 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 flap my arms. Like those fly things do. Flap.
yes.
Well, we probably don't land directly on the tower. We probably land on like the wall next to it, right? Or the
Sure.
ramparts or something, right?
Sure. Okay. So in that case, 19 goblins slam into the side of the Dark Tower, and you cling perilously to the rough brickwork on the side of the tower. And it'll have to be one of the other 3. But which goblin's taking the lead for helping you navigate off the side of the Dark Tower into the Dark Tower?
I'm jamming me fly swatter into it. Hang on, lads. Hang on to this. It's formidable. Hang on. I'll just lam it. You swing into the window. We'll hang on to this. Now swing.
Hang on, are you using the fly swatter as like a piton? And then you're just gonna have 90 goblins swinging backwards and forwards and then like jumping.
It was
puzzles.
obviously that's what I meant.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good to me. In which case, Zot's Greenager, you're using your formidable fly swatter, so that's a 2d6 roll. S'il vous plaît.
Did not get advantage because of my roll.
Oh, and you get +1, yes, to all of them. So you get a 6 and a 1. Sorry, you roll a 5 and a 1, which becomes a 6 and a 2. So you because of the ingenuity of Gilbo Gabbins, Dark Lord, rest their soul. You managed, the 19 of you managed to swing, like with the aid of the fly swatter, you swing far enough that you can all leap onto a balcony on the side of the tower, where there is an open window, like an open balcony window door.
It was never closed.
Because you rolled a 6, that is an astonishing victory. So you get 2 successes, successfully entering the Dark Tower, but you've rolled a 2, which is an injury. Staff, if you could describe the injury that Zot has just taken.
Obviously, we were swinging so well, and we got through the window so perfectly that Zot decided to unprise his fly swatter from the wall while he was swinging, which he managed to do, and he still got his fly swatter, but it swatted him in the head on the way through.
Okay.
Oh.
Because it's so formidable, that's what it does.
There is a loud crack of electricity and the smell of burning rubber, and
sweaty burning rubber. And as you land on this balcony, you notice that there's a burnt grid shape on the forehead of Zot Greenager. But Zot, you are injured. If you're injured again, you die. Okay, you have successfully entered the Dark Tower. The next step is to find a personal assistant. Big air quotes. So, Nate or Chris, which of your goblins are taking the lead?
I think I've got this. I think
You got
I've got
this.
this.
I think I got it. You got this.
You got this.
I think I've got this.
You got
You
this.
got this.
Reaching down to their chest, the Nin pulls the shrieker to their lips and goes, "Surely, like the way you summon a personal assistant is just you yell really loud. And I'm gonna just do that.
Yeah.
the noise.
Put it to their lips and
Just
just
a noise.
blow as hard as a goblin can
Okay.
into the shrieker in the hope that it will summon the personal assistant.
I really want this to fail because I want you to tell us how that could go wrong.
Okay.
Just swallow the squeaker.
So, you're using the Shrieker, so please roll me 2d6. There's no modifiers on this one this time.
Well, I am quite good at catching things as well, so it's either that or we wait for them to come past and I grab them.
Lydia.
Either way, I think we're good. Right.
Yes.
2d6.
2d6, and then we'll see how well the whistle blow goes.
Yes.
Double 6!
Nice.
Reach out.
Well, you know what? That is 2 double successes, and you need 4 successes for the second stage. So, absolutely, you blow the whistle.
And Pierre just walks up.
You hear echoing from the distance and getting louder. The hurried steps, footsteps
Stilettos.
of someone rushing to your position, and the door to the room that you found yourself in the Dark Tower, and it's like this is like a proper. To describe it, it looks a bit like an office, and there's a big kind of mahogany table, a high-rise chair made of a polished black wood. There's some kind of horns and spikes emerging from the edges of the seat. You can see some bookshelves. None of you can read, but there's lots of books on them, well, you can't read, but on the desk there's a little kind of triangular Toblerone-shaped thing that's got some scribbles on it that for everyone except you you don't know that it reads Mr. Dark Lord on it. And as you hear the steps, the doors fling open, and a out of breath hobgoblin bursts into the room, and this orange-skinned creature with very small black eyes and a mouth that seems far too large for its face,
And instantly falls in love.
Okay, so as this creature runs in, and like wearing a tuxedo, like a waistcoat, a red cravat, and
Fishnets.
and a set of fishnets that are about 3 sizes too small. This hobgoblin bursts in, and because I suppose you're all still dressed up as this now slightly shorter Dark Lord. And the hobgoblin looks at you. You called, my lord. So you successfully summoned the
who's
hobgoblin. Step 3 is to acquire that you notice around the legs of this hobgoblin is the fishnets. They're tight enough that it looks like a tightly wrapped Sunday ham. And
Still in love. This is
Still
brilliant.
in love.
I'm still
Still in
like,
love.
this is the best thing.
still enough.
Ever.
Compost is just hungry.
Because you took me by surprise with your double 6, Chris, the misfortune is going to happen on this step. And as you kind of stride forward in your Dark Lord costume, also summoned by your whistle, you hear another sound kind of getting louder and louder. And as you kind of step up to the hobgoblin looming over him in your 19 tall goblin costume, you hear, "Look out!" And as you turn, a hobgoblin postal delivery person crashes into you with their postal cart that has just kind of come skidding round the corner and knocks you over. And as the Dark Lord tumbles, the 19 of you spill out of the costume onto the floor in front of this Hobgoblin PA. You now need 7 successes. But in this moment, what does compost kidney beans do to remedy the situation?
Bloody yodel.
Everyone knows it's Hermes. Every as it's called.
Yeah, letters and parcels have gone flying in all directions as this hobgoblin's collided into you. There's goblins everywhere. This PA looks a bit stunned. Yeah, what do you do?
I'm gonna sort of wave my little hands.
I'm gonna go. Wait. This is a sign. This is a sign. The Dark Lord told me to tell you to take a letter, and the Dark Lord told me to tell you what the letter was.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
But I can't write, so you gotta write it down.
Okay. Right. Okay.
And I'm just sort of telling everyone,
Go, get them.
Are you being a distraction?
yes, I'm being a distraction.
You're being a distraction. Okay. Right, Nate. If I could have 2d6 as you distract the hobgoblin, who's a bit dazed and confused as you've both been hit by a errant postal cart. 5 and 5. That is 2 successes.
No,
Okay.
Nailed it.
So as you say this, the hobgoblin personal assistant say is a bit dazed and confused, and you manage to distract the hobgoblin for long enough that the Dark Lord manages to reassemble itself behind you.
Good job. Well done.
Fundamentally negating the misfortune. Okay, so and as the
I ain't taking
hobgoblin,
no letter to no one.
as the hobgoblin kind of looks up to you in a daze, and I'm sorry, what? You manage to like slip under the robe into the leg, and you all you've reformed the Dark Lord. So congratulations. Next up, this hobgoblin looks to you, and this PA looks to you, and write a letter. What do you mean?
You gotta write a very important letter. Yes.
Right. So the hobgoblin kind of goes in, like follows you into the study, pulls out this parchment and a quill, and as the hobgoblin looks to you to ask for what's on this letter, who's continuing on this plan of acquiring this PA's fishnets?
I think one of us needs to like hit this person because we need to steal their knickers.
We'll see if you can find something to cut them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so is it?
What?
Yeah, swat them on the head. That's a good idea.
Both of them?
Who? We don't care about the
So
postal.
the postal hobgoblin is kind of outside. You've closed the door on them. They're just kind of picking up all of the
Yeah.
parcels and letters. Actually, one letter gets handed in.
Oh, thank you.
One Amazon delivery gets handed over before the hobgoblin kind of goes trundling down the corridor again. But yes, so it's just you and the PA. Are you gonna cudgel them with this fly swatter?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swatter.
Okay. So as this hobgoblin's kind of leant over, writing whatever it is that Compost is dictating, Zot lifts the formidable fly swatter and like the arm just
With the arm formed of like 3 or 4 goblins. Goes,
yes. So Steph, if I could have a 2d6 roll, please.
Gladly. Uh-oh.
A 2 and a 3. Right. So
I'm going to die from
Oh,
swatting.
can we have +1 this time? Or was that not?
We don't know.
Is it
So
ones, is
a
it?
2 and a 3 is something bad happens. So the next goblin to roll will roll with -1. And also, Zot suffers another injury, which will therefore kill him.
Oh,
Kill
God.
them. So, Staff, describe to me how this pans out. How the use of the formidable fly swatter endangers the next goblin and kills you.
So the series of goblins that are going to swap the PA, they go to hit her, but they choose to hit her on the elbow instead of the noggin, which means that actually instead of swatting her on the head and knocking her out, we just sort of swat her a little bit, and it gets a funny bone, and it sort of slingshots back into Zot's face, and he's swatted for the second time in as many minutes, and that is the end of Zot. But she is swatted, so just not very successfully.
Right, okay. So as you gently graze the PA's elbow with this fly swatter, and as a reaction to "Gah!" You take the fly swatter back to the face. There's a loud crack of electricity. Zot is no more. Zot just kind of falls out the end of this wizard sleeve, and the hobgoblin, the PA turns and what was that? They say as they look to you. So, Staff, what's your next goblin called?
Lemon.
Lemon Green Agent. Okay. So, as Zot shuffles off this mortal coil, who wants to address the hobgoblin that's just been grazed on the shoulder with a fly swatter?
I think Tony Starch is just going to strangle the PA.
You woke up this morning and chose violence, didn't you?
Oh, we're goblins! What else are we going to do?
What's it gonna do?
You were born this morning and chose violence.
Are they goblins? We need the net. How else are we gonna get the net?
As this hobgoblin looks up to you, a bit confused and concerned about that tickle on the funny bone, the other arm launches out and goes to strangle the VA. I don't think anything
Nope.
from your clutch helps you here.
Nope, nothing else.
A straight D6, please.
Oh god, D6 only.
Something
Really?
bad as well. Is it a -1 as
And it's
well?
a -1 to this roll.
I've seen the Dark Lord do this. He just like aims for the throat and thinks about strangling someone, and then they automatically get strangled.
Tony Stark goes.
You got to think about it real hard.
Here you go. Hey, a 5.
Supreme
Okay.
success.
Tony
So
Stark
a
did
6
it with his.
A 6 drops
with his-
down to it.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay, so as the left arm comes up and just a little tiny goblin hand does a little quiver, the hobgoblin PA, for some unbeknownst reason, just like lifts a couple of inches off the floor, clutches at their throat, and then drops unmoving to the ground. That
Smells
is
dying sweat.
yes. Oh, God. That's 1 success. Okay, so the hobgoblin is now incapacitated. You're not out of the woods yet. Congratulations, Tony Starch.
Thank you.
Chris, how are you picking up?
Well, now they're down. Obviously, they need catching. Like, 'cause I need to catch the nets. Like, the nets need catching.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair.
Obvious. It's
Obvious. It's very obvious. Okay, so you're going to catch the falling hobgoblin by the nets.
Just like hang on to them and just kind of just use my body weight, my significant amount of body weight, tiny amount of body weight to try and pull them down.
So you're using your
Yeah.
your physical weight to pull the tights off as the hobgoblin tumbles. Okay,
I think
roll.
the PA stumbled out of a window, right? That's really what happened. And so you gotta catch the tights, otherwise they're gonna fall
Yeah,
out.
no, of course, that sounds
I'm
good.
in love, so I'm like, no, my love.
Okay, that's yeah. Okay, so that's 3d6 then, because you've fallen in love too easily, and you're good at catching things.
You only catch one toe, and you hold on to it, but it's not enough.
I'll keep this toe forever. I'm gonna put it on my mantelpiece. Whatever a mantelpiece is. 3d6.
3d6.
Come back.
Flat.
Alright,
Worry,
very
I've
good.
got you.
So something good has happened. So the next goblin will get +1, but you are also injured and killed. So explain to me what happens to Nin in this situation.
As the hobgoblin goes kind of towards the end of the window, like Nin being fully in love with this hobgoblin, like dashes out from the large cloak. I'll save you! I've got you! Don't worry, my love! Grabs onto the nets and pulls. As they kind of like enter the window, like they hit Nin hits their head like on the edge of the window ledge, and just kind of like ow, but hangs on nonetheless.
It's like a reverse Lion King moment with if Gar was upside down.
And I don't know how true this is, but what I'm going to say might be true. Like kind of whips off the net and throws it back into the room, but also doing that propels themselves out the window.
Okay.
And you hear a slight
a little wet slap. Okay, so the PA and Ningoth go careening out of the window. The tights are the nets, which have been prized off the legs of this hobgoblin, get launched backwards as Nin goes tumbling over the window ledge. And you watch as the tights kind of fly towards the open balcony window, and then a gust of wind kind of lifts them up a little bit and then latches them onto a hanging flower basket that's kind of on the side of the dark tower. Just because it's a dark tower doesn't mean it can't be pretty. So the tights have been retrieved from the hobgoblin, but they're now flapping dangerously on the side of the tower. Chris, what is your second goblin called?
my second goblin is called Elo. It's like J-Lo, but Elo. Or Elo, or ELO. You choose.
Gotcha. Okay. Everyone's
Probably
back
use
in
all
the...
three before it's too late.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, everyone is back in the running. The tights are hanging from a hanging flower basket. Who's going to try and retrieve him?
I'm pretty sure it should be Elo if he's good at catching. Maybe he went off to try and catch Nin.
Yeah.
You're just gonna lose all your goblins because they're like, now I'll catch you. Now I'll catch you.
It's. I mean, if Elo wants to step forward, and maybe the nets will blow off this hanging guard, and Elo
we
will
still
attempt
have
to catch them.
we still have more things to catch. We need forks and bait.
I think once you've got these nets, that'll be more than enough.
Okay,
I think.
we have the rest.
Yeah. So basically, there's the balcony window that you were landed on, and then hanging off the edge of that balcony is one of those like hanging baskets, just with a little tiny pot plant in it. The tights are currently snagged on that hanging flower bed. So it's going to be a bit of acrobatics, effectively, to get at it. The nets are retrievable, and they're in a position, luckily, where it's slightly easier to retrieve than normal because we had a success on something fortunate on the last roll.
Should I grab them? My character grab them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
absolutely no advantage whatsoever.
Okay, so Tony Starch, like as you climb up onto the balcony, reach out to grab the flower, the nets off the flower pot.
Yeah. Let's
So
go
D6.
for it. Ah! Crit again! Tony Starch is so powerful.
Clearly the best goblin for the job.
Yeah.
He is. You normally get 2
7.
successes from a 6, but a 7, I'm gonna say, means 3.
Wow.
Oh! Okay. That does mean that
now.
if you roll a 1 on when you've got a -1, I'm gonna kill 2 goblins. Yours and someone else's at random.
Whoever's got the best goblins.
Yes. Okay. So
I think what the ring does is it actually gives you several powers. So there's invisibility, but there's also flying. And so Tony Starch leaps forward and goes, I can fly! And there's full of goblins underneath him just pushing him forward. But he's horizontal, so like this, and he goes, he flies out the window and flies back in really fast. That was how he retrieved the net, was through the power of flight.
I see. Through
Grant him to him by the ring.
It works, to be fair. Okay, so so Tony Starch has acquired the nets using the power of flight from the one Fruity Loop to rule them all. Who's stepping up to help you get out of the tower? And then this will be it. You've got what you came for. Now you've got to leave without getting killed.
Hammond just holds out a piece of asparagus and waves it at the other goblins. This is how we get out.
How? Okay, you know
asparagus and waves it at all of them.
Okay.
Expecting them to know how that gets out.
Is the asparagus Lemon's defining feature?
Yes. How did you get?
Right. Lemon, roll me 2d6 because you can actually use your defining feature.
Oh, can I?
To boost your roll. I just found out. Yeah.
I didn't use my defining feature. So each goblin has a defining feature, and that gives you a d6, right?
Uh,
Right.
What do you get? What do you roll? Oh, nice.
A 3 and a 6. Okay, so something bad happens, but it's also an astonishing victory. So, Staff, describe to me how this asparagus helps you escape the Dark Tower.
Compost eats it.
So he waves the asparagus around, which he's very proud of.
Yeah.
Because it is the best asparagus he's ever eaten or seen in the last hour of his life. And by some strange thing, the floor opens up and they all fall to the bottom floor.
Of course.
Because they've accidentally triggered the trapdoor that's underneath them in the Dark Lord's tower.
Yes.
It's a garbage disposal unit, of course.
The only place appropriate for asparagus.
Because the asparagus was rubbish.
Yes.
That needed disposing.
The Dark Lord does not appreciate vegetables in their diet, so the presence of vegetables opens up the garbage chute. Okay.
The hat that Lemon wears, which is not in any way spaceship shape, allows them to float down without causing any harm to each other.
Of course. Okay, so the alarms go off in the Dark Tower as you produce the asparagus. A magical hole opens in the floor, and you like a helter-skelter slide all the way to the bottom and get spat out.
Happy slide.
And you get spat out into a garbage pile at the base of the tower. Congratulations, goblins! You have acquired all you'll need to catch the mystery beast.
Good job.
Hooray!
So,
next up, stage 2 of the plan is to research the mystery beast. So,
Wait.
Oh.
I want to know how Compost feels about the asparagus.
How does Compost feel?
There's just a
Lemon looks at their hand and sees there's actually no asparagus there, and there's just like a tiny little stalk just appearing out of Compost's mouth.
I swear I had asparagus a minute ago. Where's it gone?
He's allowed to.
Nom, nom,
Compost is allowed to because they're the eldest of the group.
So far.
By 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Seniority.
Okay, we'll tell you what, Nate, you've just volunteered yourself. As you emerge out of the tower, asparagus in tum, what steps are you taking to identify this mystery beast that produces the tasty stones?
We killed the hobgoblin, so we were going to ask him. But he's dead.
Yeah, there is an orange splat
Yeah.
nearby.
I poke him.
really
I poke
sorry
him with my marking stick of truth. I go, wake up! We want the tasty rocks.
He's not moving.
Okay, are you using the marking stick of truth to see if posthumously this hobgoblin's going to give you some ideas?
I'm gonna poke him really just.
And is it?
Sure.
Is it?
Tell
Is
him
it going
I
to
take
draw like an arrow, basically by poking him? You're just going to look, an arrow.
Possible.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. Roll me 2d6 if you're using the marking stick of truth.
Row.
Okay,
no.
because it's also
Ruh-roh.
a something bad. So a 3 and a 1 becomes an injury to Compost, and also instant death to Compost, as well as actually, tell you what, because one other goblin is going to perish as a result of this, because you rolled a 0. So Nate, describe to me how using the marking stick of truth on the splattered hobgoblin PA corpse injures you and then kills you and another goblin of your choice.
So my thinking is that
Yeah.
from just poking so hard with the marking stick of truth,
Yeah.
there is some sort of trigger that goes off on the hobgoblin's jacket. I'd like to think that he has like a selection of quills that he has on his belt. This flings off, and a quill goes straight through Compost's eye and straight through the goblin that was behind him as well. It just goes. Toom!
Okay, Nate, I'm going to let you choose whether the goblin immediately behind you was Tony Starch, ELO, or LO, or Lemon.
I'd like to argue it was Lemon because you ate his asparagus.
I was just about to say, "Oi, give me back my asparagus. I'm going to get it off of you."
We'll make it Lemon then.
Right.
I didn't want to
No,
get rid of
good,
Lemon
you know.
because of the wonderful drawing. Considering
Did the
it was
bugbear
your
have like
daughter's
spring-loaded
favourite
quills?
one.
To be fair, Lemon had used his asparagus and his
Yeah.
fake helmet already, so he's pretty much out of ideas now.
Does
Yeah,
his hat
okay.
turn into a little unhappy face?
Can do. Yeah.
So as you frantically prod at the the hobgoblin corpse, yes, the booby trap quill bomb that he had the Amazon parcel that evidently came out with you turns out to be a bomb sent for the Dark Lord. That detonates, firing quills in all directions. It impales you through the eye and then embeds into the head, into the neck of Lemon stood behind you, and both goblins perish. Cool. Nate, who's your second goblin?
My second goblin is Bingle. I put his defining feature as he writes, as in obviously he doesn't know how to write, but he says he writes goblin poetry.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And Staff,
Stunning.
who's your third goblin?
That would be what?
What? And what is what's defining feature?
He carries around Christmas lights.
I see. I see. Okay,
That would have
so
been useful in so many of the occasions that we've already gone past, like climbing up a tower maybe, or hooking the nets off of a hanging basket. But he wasn't obviously paying attention. So
he really wasn't.
now you're up. What?
Okay, right. So, Chris or Anton, describe to me how Tony Starch or Bingle are going to help you identify this mystery beast. Because you just watched one goblin poke a goblin puddle so hard they exploded.
But do we need to identify it now? Because we need to find where it lives first, and then we'll identify.
The first step is to identify the beast, because then
Right.
you can find out where beasts like that live.
Oh, wait, hold on. Did Nate tell us which direction we need to go into? Or is there no success there?
No, there's just there's a crater where there's a quill-covered crater.
Injury and double death. So we probably didn't learn lots from that.
No, you did not. No.
Where can we
In
identify?
fact, as you look upon the carnage, a bit of the lava moat spits over the edge and just incinerates what's left of those three goblins.
That's a good question.
So,
How can we do? We can either ask people or we can look for a sign. I don't know.
so you got so we're identifying a mystery beast. Tell you what, Chris, what's Bingle doing to find out? Sorry, Elo, beg your pardon. What this mystery beast might be that you've heard so much about.
Elo has obviously, as you can see, a patch over one eye, and then one goat eye, because that just happens. But is gonna under the patch, gonna open the patch, and under there's nothing. There's just like a dead socket. But Elo believes that he can see magically.
Yes.
So
I like it.
he's going to try and conjure up a vision
Okay.
of a beast that might lay tasty stones. Using no advantages whatsoever, but that doesn't matter.
Okay, so just a straight these. Although you're not using a defining feature. Okay, crack on. 1d6.
I'm using the opposite of my defining feature, so not my goat eye.
Yes.
Uh,
A 4. Okay.
Was good.
didn't
Something
die.
good. Okay. So as you peer through your empty eye socket, and you fall into somewhat of a fever dream, and you begin dancing on the spot from one foot to the other, and an image begins to form in your mind of the mythical beast. Something good happens. You'll be able to use your description as you try to describe what it is you're seeing. You'll be able to aid the next goblin in identifying this mystery beast. Tony Starch, you're watching ELO, or Elo, the artist formerly known as Elo, dancing from side to side. You have a feeling that Elo's going to be able to help you identify the beast. How are you going to do that?
I'm going to take Elo. We need to take them around a fire, right? Because fires are magic, and so the fire will amplify the magic.
Okay. Yes. I
Yes.
see the logic here.
Yes.
Right. So, you're heading up to some
like a bonfire.
nearby campfire.
Yeah, campfire, bonfire,
Okay.
and we'll take a bit of the One Ring of Power, and we'll sprinkle some on Elo to amplify the magic,
Sure.
or make him sniff the ring, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. So, you all
Make it into a powder.
Only
So
a bit.
you all-
Only a bit.
You all carry this this dancing goblin to a nearby campfire. There are a couple of there's no one here at the moment. The sitting rocks are currently empty. But as you So you're using the what? Are you grinding up some of your? Cool.
Magic rock.
Okay.
Yeah, magic rock.
Sure. So as you force Elo to inhale this ground up Fruity Loop, roll me 2d6 as you're using your heirloom, and the flame and the heat.
Oh dear.
Spurs.
+1.
Okay, so at least it's a +1. Okay, so Elo, as you are dragged to this bonfire and you huff up a load of Fruity Loop, Anton, because we got a +1, you rolled a 1 and a 6. Explain to me how you are injured in the process of Elo conjuring an image of this mystical beast.
So I think the Fruit Loop stays on the finger, but he just shoves the finger up Edo's nose.
I go, feel the magic!
Oh,
Feel the
what?
magic!
and in the process will like back into the fire.
Okay, cool. Right, so
So
you
bear in mind, Tony Stark's defining feature is that he is wearing like a can on his head and like some bit of a gauntlet like on his
Sure.
chest or something. You know, he's an iron goblin.
Okay,
He's an iron.
So you're stood close enough to the campfire that it's not until too late that you realise that the tin can you're wearing as a helmet is beginning to rapidly heat up, and there are screams coming off Tony Starch as this can
So-
starts going bright red.
Is he injured?
He's
Okay.
injured,
Yeah. Okay.
but effectively rolled a 7, so I'm going to count that as 3 successes. Chris, describe to me what this creature looks like. Don't use animal parts, just use very vague descriptions.
It's got 4 large things on the bottom. 4.
Right?
4
Right.
large things on the bottom.
Zing.
And then it's got like dangly bits.
Dangly
Like
bits.
One really big dangly bit.
How many dangly bits?
Just one.
How many?
One dangly
4.
bit.
One large dangly bit.
Did you see the
4.
rocks?
And then
4 bits.
hang on, the rocks are coming through now. The rocks are brown.
Where are the rocks?
No,
Right?
they're
Okay.
sometimes brown.
What's brown?
The rocks.
What is brown?
Oh. This colour
Who
that
is-
I'm seeing.
Who is brown?
Same colour as this, and I'll pick up some mud from
It's
the floor. I'll be like, same colour as that.
That's not brown, that's mud.
It's mud.
It's mud colour.
Oh, mud colour.
Right. Okay.
Hang on. I'm seeing a face. I'm seeing a face. Oh, the face.
Whose face?
Are you in love?
It's a beautiful face. Oh.
We've lost him. He's
Oh.
gone. He's gone.
Give me
He's
a
done it
minute.
again.
Falling in
Wait a
love
minute.
again.
Oh.
Give him
That's
some
a beautiful
privacy.
face. Those lips, those beautiful, beautiful, luscious lips. It's a
Let the magic
really,
work.
really long face. Yeah, it's a beautiful
face.
long face.
He's gone.
Face. Mud-coloured long face. Thank
Okay,
Okay.
he's dangly bits on the base.
I'm gonna dream about that face for weeks.
You're
Have you
not.
fallen in love with your vision?
Yeah.
All right, brilliant. Okay, so with Elo's perfect description, you've now managed to identify your mystery beast. So the next step is to discover where this thing lives. So you've all now got this kind of this image in your minds of what it is you're looking for. Tony Starch is screaming because his tin cans fused to his head. Who's going to begin the investigation into where this mystery beast lives?
Can I get a bit of that magic? I've got a plan.
No. No magic
Oh.
for you.
Why?
It's special.
Oh, I'm
Only for-
special.
It's only for the magic.
Oh, I've got I've got a stick. The stick's magic.
Is it?
Marking stick.
Yeah, I'll show you.
And
All right.
and Bingle is gonna try and make some marks in the mud, even though Byra is not going to work in the mud. But they're going to try and make some sort of marks to identify where this beast lives, or a direction of where this beast lives.
Like a map.
Mm.
Sure. Okay. Roll me a 2d6 as you're using the marking stick of truth.
Whee!
Oh, a 5
Very
and a 6. Okay, so Bingle, as you close your eyes and thrust the marking stick of truth into the ground and just sort of waggle it around, with your eyes closed, presumably, as you open them, you notice the remaining goblins all gathered around. Ooh. And they realize that you've basically drawn a beautiful map. You've drawn a number of lines, and if you look at it, kind of tilt your head to one side and squint a bit, it looks like it could be a map.
Oh, don't need your sodding magic. Got my own.
So with a success, that's a double success. Okay, so that's 3. So you've using the marking stick of truth has shown you the truth, and it's shown you where the creature lives. The problem is you don't know where this is in the world. So potentially you'll need one more oomph. You need someone to identify to you where this place that the marking stick has shown you, where it is, where it can be found.
I can swing these lights around, and that's the way.
Yeah.
That's it. That's as far as I got.
Right. Yeah, that sounds good. 2d6.
On double ones. Oh,
Hey!
You lot are on fire tonight. Okay.
Yeah, Chris,
Wait till we fight
with
this
your
thing.
light so bright.
Yeah.
Can you show us where to go?
Which one's the brown one?
Pretty please.
Okay. So, what? As you swing the Christmas lights around your head, and as you let it go, and they just kind of fly
It's
off.
always the ones that would have been easy to kill another goblin with that turn out to be successful.
You follow, like, the lights kind of slap onto the ground and kind of trail off in a particular direction.
That way.
And yes, as you look up, you follow the direction that the lights have landed, and you make your way out of the goblin camp, slipping through a hole in a fence and a bush, and you you find yourself in the wilderness around the camp itself. Congratulations, you've found out where this thing lives. So, as out of the safety, big air quote, safety of the war camp, your goblins now must arrive at the place of the mythical beast. You know what it looks like. You know where it is. I think who's not gone for a while. Elo hasn't been for a while.
What?
I'm
ready.
On what?
So, what's
sorry.
Elo doing to help the goblins arrive at the lair of the mystery beast?
Well, I'm gonna plan and wait for a little bit. Like, as we're waiting, like, we'll wait and we'll see if any transport if any like thing is moving in that direction, and then we're gonna try and catch it and go with it.
Right, okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Roll me a 2d6 as you are catching something.
These 1 hour old goblins are just getting smaller and smaller in my head. They started off like this size, and now they're like maybe this size.
Okay.
Go well.
Ooh, but have we got a +1 at the moment?
Yeah. From the 4.
We do, yes.
From the 4.
So your 4 and a 1 becomes a 5 and a 2. So victory and injury.
Great.
So,
Perfect.
Elo, Elo, describe to me what happens that means you successfully
what?
managed to catch. You successfully managed to catch some passing transport, but get injured in the process.
So, passing by, there is maybe like an orc with a wheelbarrow. It's kind of like, that's the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah.
And so, Elo kind of leaps up onto the barrel and kind of like holds a hand back for all of their brothers and sisters and non-gender specific orcs. Sorry, goblins.
Yeah.
In the process, the arm gets caught in the wheel.
Oh.
Right.
And
Ow.
they're now armless.
Yeah. Sure.
But like still hold out a leg for the rest of the people.
Right. Okay. That sounds good.
Come on.
Okay.
Let's go! I've got it!
Okay.
I got okay.
So this orc pushing a wheelbarrow, utterly oblivious to the fact that about 16 goblins have just stowed away in the wheelbarrow. Despite the sounds of screaming as an arm parts with the torso. Okay, so you're in this wheelbarrow. You're being trundled away from the camp in the direction of the lair of the beast. Congratulations. Who's next to help on the journey to the lair?
Maybe me?
Yep, go on, Tony.
What is Tony going to be using? Tony's done a lot. He's been an MVP. Probably nothing useful. Oh, look, be on the lookout.
Where is the monster? Where is the monster? Where is
Sure.
the monster?
That sounds
not
like a
beast.
1d6.
It does sound like 1d6, doesn't it?
That's a 1d6.
I hope he doesn't die.
It's
He
a
did.
+1. It's a +1.
Oh, it
Is
is
it?
a +1. It is a. Well, it doesn't
But he's
matter.
already injured.
He did.
Okay, so Tony Starch, as you lift your welded on tin can helmet head out of the wheelbarrow to have a little look around, describe to me how you sustain an injury which will then inevitably kill you.
I think the orc that's I think pushing the wheelbarrow, but I think they're not pushing it, they're pulling it.
Okay.
Leads behind to find a flask or something,
Yeah.
and then just ends up grabbing Tony Starch's head and sneezing or chomping on it or some form of basically gets eaten by the orc, I think is really what
Okay.
happens. Accidentally
So-
eaten.
grabs the can, twists it. This can green beans was already open.
In no way deters Elo from loving the orc.
Okay, cool. So with
Tony
that,
Stark was wearing a tin hat, so it was kind of a bit like a can. So
cool.
It's a
So in that
clean
case,
pair.
yes, Tony Starch is no more. Anton, who's replacing Tony Starch, and what's their defining feature?
it's Revolt of Grivia. And their defining feature is they have a silver sword. Well, I say sword, it's a big word. They have a silver cheese knife.
Okay, right, silver cheese knife.
Yeah.
Cool.
May have
So-
belonged once to the Dark Lord.
So you all watch as Tony Starch is unceremoniously eaten by an unwitting orc. Who's next to pick up the slack for the safe arrivings at the lair?
Bingo, bingo, bingo.
Go, Bingle, go!
Bingle is also keeping a lookout. Sort of remembers from the map turning that the orc is not going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
So Bingle is going to try and is gonna just try and just silently whisper, like going, "No, you need to go the other way. Go. This is your conscience. Go the other way."
Okay, right.
They're all too stupid, but don't know.
Amazing.
I don't know if I can call that a distraction. You know. So I think that's a straight D6.
It's also going to get eaten by the orc. Oh,
5.
Oh,
it works.
it works. Okay, so the orc is just pulling this out along, just stops and. Oh,
You're right.
you know what? I've never gone right before. Says this orc.
Now
at
is the time.
And the orc goes, "No, I think now today is the day I will go right." And turns right at the crossroads and trundles off in the direction you needed to go in.
I knew he was a leftist.
Okay, that is Bingle. What hasn't been in a while?
What's up?
What is up? Yeah. So, what's what doing?
What would like to practice with his SWAT, please? Because we've got to prod the beast, and practice makes perfect.
Okay, yeah, sure.
After picking out Zot from the swatter, the pieces,
Yeah.
what
Just a couple of
is now
singed
going to
nose
practice swatting
Okay, that sounds good.
on the wheelbarrow
Okay,
in midair.
roll me 2d6 as you use your formidable fly swatter.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. Not essential. It's just practicing. Up to you.
Well, I mean, you're using the heirloom, so arguably it's a 2d6.
You can do that. Not ideal.
Okay, so on the one hand, something good has happened. On the other,
I taught other
what has,
people how to use it.
what has killed
not to use
themselves? So, describe to me how this pans out.
So, what is aware that there are dangly bits on the beast, and what believes that the best way to swat the dangly bits are to jump as high as possible, which means jumping off the wheelbarrow as high as possible and swatting at the same time. However, what did not take into account whilst swatting was that Watt had no wheelbarrow to land back on afterwards because it was in forward momentum.
Yeah.
And Watt jumps really high, swats with an extremely impressive style, which teaches the next person how to swat. But there is no soft landing upon the bed of goblins, and he lands on a bed of thistles, which just apparently passing by the wheelbarrow and skewers himself in many hundreds of places.
Okay. Okay. Death by thistles. Okay. Very good. Staff, who replaces what?
Blimey.
What?
We've
No! No, what? No, what? What? No!
Narc is next.
Narc. Okay. And what's Narc's defining feature?
I don't really know how this works. Narc has a monkey.
Narc has a monkey.
A mini monkey toy. I don't know. Would probably make sense, but
Narc has. I mean, it looks like a sock puppet.
Well, yeah, that'll work just fine.
Cool. Narc has a monkey-shaped sock puppet.
Yes. Who is eating a banana, which could well make Bingle very jealous.
Quite possibly. Okay, so emboldened by the heroic sacrifice of Watt, what's Elo doing as you're heading towards the lair?
So we're in the We're in the wheelbarrow. We turned, and we just got to get off soon, surely.
Gone past the thistles.
Gone past the thistles. That's important. That's important.
The Thistle Ravine. yeah. You've successfully passed over the bridge.
It was
over the Thistly Ravine.
That was on the map, yeah.
It was on the map.
Okay, so yeah, what are you doing?
By the way.
It was
what-
indicated by a patch of grass, yeah.
It was. What are you doing after the Thistly Ravine? So are you instructing everyone to jump off?
I'm gonna give it like whatever I think 25 seconds is,
Okay. Yeah,
which is an indeterminate period of time when you're a goblin.
it is. It is. I mean,
But-
it's a significant part of your lifespan. To be fair.
Yeah,
That's-
it's like a quarter of like yeah, it's really complicated. I can't deal with that.
Yeah. Okay.
And then what I'm gonna do is use the trusty shrieker to make sure that we stop. And I've heard you kind of do 2 shrieks for stop and 1 shriek for go.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I heard one point.
Okay.
So I'm gonna blow the shrieker twice.
Okay. Sounds good.
Don't forget the stylish swatting skill that you just learned.
Yes. Okay. So 2d6. You get 1 to the results. Okay. So a 6 and a 5, which is a big success and a success for a total of 3 successes. Okay, so as you give 2-shot toots of the whistle, and the orc just instinctively, oh, that's the sound for the stopping, and he just stops. Stops at his tracks, and as the orc looks around, kind of slightly confused, all of you pour out of the wheelbarrow and just kind of disappear off.
Get out.
Off, like
Get out.
not too far away. You can see that there is a. Well, tell you what, Chris, explain to me what it is. Like, you've arrived at the lair of the mystery beast. And as Elo had the vision, describe to me what the lair looks like.
The lair has it's kind of like the Dark Tower, but less dark.
Okay.
It's definitely it's got like a big
It's
tower.
not tower.
Yeah, it's got, like a big tower because towers are cool, and I know about towers. And right at the very top of the tower, there's a long braided rope that might be hair, but I wouldn't know that. And then at the bottom of the tower, there's a big pit, and I think they're in the pit.
Okay. I'm going to run with it. I have no idea what you've just described, but let's go.
Oh, no, neither do I.
No one knows. It's
Basically, if I was doing it in human form, it would be Rapunzel's tower
Yeah.
with a
okay.
big pit.
With a big
done.
bit. So you want to, and the mystical beast is in the pit.
Maybe. I mean, that's what I think anyway. It could be quite dark. I had my eye closed. A good one.
Very good. Very, very good. Okay. So, with that in mind, you find yourselves stood at the edge of a circular moat of some description, some deep pit around the tower with what appears to be a very long ponytail wrapped around the edge of it like a candy cane.
I wave at the orc. Bye. Don't forget me.
The orc looks at you somewhat confused and then begins trundling on again with the now empty wheelbarrow.
Watch them leave. A little bit of drool comes out.
Oh.
Did not miss out on glute stay. That orc. So as you look upon this tower and the circular pit around it, you can hear the distinctive sounds of the mystery beast, which produces the tasty stones. Who's leading the charge in subduing the beast?
I'll do it.
Okay, off you go, Revolt of Grivier.
Yeah. Because that's Revolt's specialty. He's got a silver sword.
He
with
does.
Suspiciously flat sides and slightly curved, and that's good for cheese.
So,
Good for cheese
so
and monsters.
just to check, at the bottom of this pit, are there horses? Is it a pit of stallions at the bottom of this pit?
Possibly. We wouldn't know what stallions were. I don't know.
Or the Wag Pit.
All we know is that they've got tasty rocks.
Tasty rock.
As you
Brown,
peer-
tasty rocks.
As you peer over the edge of the pit, you can see a number of large creatures. You've never seen anything like them. Quite literally, you've been alive for about an hour and a half. But this creature is quite low to the ground, very wide, has this hard grey skin, almost like the metal armor worn by the orcs. And there's a small kind of a small tail that swishes at the back end of it, and on the long head, the long face that protrudes from the front of it, you notice that there appears to be a rather... No, I can go one better than a rhino. Wallowing in the mud pits at the base of this thing. Yeah, large grey creature, wet, small wiggly tail, very long face with a big bulbous kind of nose. And as this creature rolls over in the mud and opens its mouth, 4 very noticeable stubby fangs. For you, this is one of the most marvelous things you've ever seen. For us, these are hippopotamuses.
I told you I love it. Like, look at that face. Look at that face. I told you about the face. Isn't it the most beautiful face you've ever seen?
It's got tasty rocks in its mouth.
Got
Quick,
tasty
before it
rocks.
eats them.
Look, tasty rocks. I got the colour wrong. Maybe. I don't.
So, you see these things wallowing around in the mud pits around the base of this tower with a long ponytail wrapped around it. Go, Revolt of Grivier of the
Right.
Fellowship of the Avengers. Go.
Yes. Revolt is going to take his trusty silver sword for killing monsters.
Uh-huh.
Equip the ring, the one true ring of power, which will, give him many powers.
Oh, will it?
And yes.
Okay, yeah.
And he will charge at the beast and slay it.
Okay, roll me. You're using your defining feature. You're using your heirloom.
And the ring of power for invisibility and flight at the same time.
Naturally, roll me 3d6.
With a +1.
No, because that was that in itself was +1.
Oh, right. There was a 5. I'm with them.
Ooh,
So,
death.
Anton, describe to me as you Revolt of Grivier of the Fellowship of the Avengers, as you go charging into battle with this large, moist, round, grey-skinned creature.
It's a dragon. It's a water dragon.
It's a big water dragon. Tell me how you achieve 2 successes in slaying it. Something bad happens and then you die.
Revolt will charge at the beast,
Yeah.
and seeing its trunk, will try and stab it. Yep. Except the grey water dragon will sit down on Revolt,
Yeah.
and that will choke him out.
Okay.
But it will slightly injure said water dragon because
You got a
the,
6.
the
yes.
pointy thing will stab
Okay.
it behind.
So as you run forward, and then with your cheese knife, no, is it a cheese knife or butter
Yeah,
knife or
butter knife. Yeah.
butter knife? Okay, so you and you're charging it from behind, and luckily the butter knife finds the one point of ingress on this mystical beast on the back end of it, and in a panic, it bellows, which rouses the attention of the other mystical beasts in this pond, the lake thing at the base of the tower, and then it sits on you, and you find yourself where no goblin has ever been before,
or wanted to be.
By Revolt.
It's like a budget version of that Ace Ventura scene. Right, who did Revolt of Grivier get replaced with?
Got replaced by it's Thorn, God of Blunder. And he once stumbled into a hedge which was quite thorny. That's why he's called Thorn.
Okay, sounds very
Not
good.
thickety.
What's their defining feature?
They've got a hammer. Well, yeah, like a little hammer.
Got a hammer. Very good. Next, congratulations! I guess you've wounded the mystical beast. Next up is, let's go with Narc.
Narc would like to don the monkey puppet to the side of the pit.
When you say don, on your hand, or are you like? Okay, right, you're putting it on your hand. Okay, cool.
Yes. Where else would Narc put it?
Yeah.
And seeing that the beasts in the pit, beast or beasts, are now alerted to our presence, would like to almost do what Bingle is good at doing, and distract them all with the monkey puppet, so that they forget that they're under attack by a horde of armed goblins, and they just look at the monkey puppet instead.
Okay.
Do you get points for using someone else's divine feature?
Other goblins can help.
I've seen many very good distractions. Narc's been around for all of it, right?
Yes, just kind of watching on the sidelines. I believe if someone's willing to help you, they can roll. They basically roll their own roll and suffer their own penalties. So, if anyone would like to help Narc in distracting the hippo, the mystical beast,
Bingle will help. Trying
Specialist.
to make a sound of whatever that sock puppet is. He doesn't know what sort of little creature it is. So he's
Neither does
just.
Narc.
So
I think it goes bear.
He's just gonna scream really loud and go, "Oh, look at me! Look at my long thing I've got here. Ooh,
Basically,
I think I go.
We're all going to distract them, and no one's actually going to do anything. Keep going.
Steph, you are using your feature, so you get to roll 2d6. Nate, you're helping, so you get to roll 1d6.
This is going to help. The distraction is perfect. It's going to help.
Because currently you're on a -1. So you're on a minus one for the others. So that is a double something bad.
No.
And a something good, which unfortunately just equals
Why
out.
-1? Is it from my roll?
From your roll, yeah. Because the trumpeting of the mythical beast as it was attacked from behind, aroused the suspicion of the other beasts. So so as the two of you put on your distraction show,
We get all the attention.
all of the mystical beasts in this pond lake turn to look at you, and you watch in unison as they all and all their nostrils flare, and they
and we realise
just
that despite making this
merge.
distraction, no one has actually taken the opportunity to do anything with it.
All of the beasts, magical beasts, descend down under the water, and so you can just see eyes and like little flappy ears. What does Elo do?
Elo's very busy, just because he's even more in love than they ever were.
There's many of them.
One-armed Elo, right? Okay, has fallen in love with the mythical beasts.
The noise is delicious, and just I think I'm gonna go and talk to them. I'm gonna go and say some sweet nothings in those ears,
Can only go well.
see if I can seduce them with my one goat eye. I'm gonna make eyes. I'm gonna make an eye at them, not
Okay.
eyes plural.
Right. So, you're falling in love with them. You're using your defining feature. Please roll me a 3d6 as you attempt to seduce the hippopotamus that's in some distress because of the goblin that charged it with a butter knife. Okay, so bear in mind we're also rolling on a -1, so your 6, 1, and 4 becomes a
Isn't that a plus
victory. No, it
My
was 2.
4 turned the 5 down to a 4.
So Anton's
No, it was a
-1
3,
turned
yeah.
both of your 4s
Oh,
into 3s.
it's like a chain
Yeah.
reaction of 3s, isn't it?
Yes. So, you succeed, Elo, in seducing the hippopotamus.
Ooh.
But
Very important.
something bad happens and then you die. So,
baby.
talk me through this.
Oh, you're lovely, you are. You're the most delicious, beautiful thing in the world. I love you. Oh, you've opened your mouth. Oh, look. Are those the eggs? I'll try and take an egg.
Okay, with the sound of a thunderous clamp, Elo disappears into the maw of the hippopotamus.
You would have wanted to go that way.
You all watch in abject horror.
From inside the hippo, you hear,
Oh, baby. Oh, not so hard. Not too much. Too much. No. Too much.
Less tongue.
It tickles and burns. Okay,
I forgot he was one-armed as well.
as you watch this goblin disappear down the gullet of the hippo kind of stands up. You can see a green and red mess on its back quarters as it stands up from the pool with a butter knife sticking out its arsehole. And this hippo, content with its meal, just kind of lies on its side and then goes into a pleasant little sleep. You've successfully subdued the beast. Okay, so as Elo shuffles off this mortal coil, Chris, who replaces him?
who replaces him? He's called who?
Oh god.
They're called who?
We've had what? Now we've got who?
Okay, so what is who's defining feature?
Is it obvious?
The luscious lips. Okay, right. So who steps
Kissy,
forward?
kissy. Kissy.
Bingle. Bingle. The mythical beast has sat on Revolt of Grivier, has eaten Elo, but is now asleep. How do you begin to retrieve the tasty stones?
Not asleep, satisfied.
So,
Oh, Bingle overheard Elo mention tasty eggs before he met his demise.
Yeah.
And Bingle's like, no,
They're mine! My tasty legs! Mine!
And Bingle's gonna rush over, even though now there's like the hippo's jaw has now been clamped, and he is going to try and use the marking stick of truth to just sort of wedge the mouth open.
Right? Yeah, okay. Roll me a 2d6, unless you're trying to argue that you're trying to eat anything.
I'm guessing because I'm trying to eat hippo teeth. I guess I'm probably trying to eat anything.
Sure, okay. Go me a 3d6. Okay, a 4. Are we running on plus ones? We are running
4,
on.
yeah.
Okay, so that is a 5, a 4, and a 4. So you succeed in prizing open the mouth of the hippo, and inside you can see 4 gleaming tasty stones.
Oh boy.
And as you start salivating at that prospect, what does Thorn, God of Blunder of the Fellowship of the Avengers, do?
Well, Thorn is going to use his said hammer to break open the eggs or get the eggs out of the mouth.
Of course,
Dentistry at its finest.
Goblin dentistry. Okay, so as Bingle is holding open the mouth of the hippo, boggle-eyed at the 4 tasty stones, as you run in swinging your hammer, roll me a 2d6.
Got a 4, 5, and a 4.
5 and a 4, and they're both good. They're boosted results. So that's a 6 and a 5, which is 3 successes. So Bingle, you watch as Thorn, God of Blunder, runs in and with a number of swings, donk, takes out one of the teeth, flies out. One of the tasty stones flies out of this hippo's mouth, and you. It is caught by.
Oh, who's good at catching?
Who
good at
catches
catching?
it?
Oh,
Because Who is very good at catching. And it's the size of your head. But as you do that, as blood spurts out and covers Bingle, in the mystical beast roars in pain as there's an unexpected root canal procedure performed on it whilst it's asleep. Bingle, you're thrown from the beast. And as this hippo kind of pulls itself to its feet and then turns to look at you, the eyes all but glow red, as do all of the eyes of the other hippos in this pond. You are now in the final stage. You need to return to camp and get famous. So, I think next up is Narc.
Throws the monkey at the beasts.
Okay. So as you throw this monkey sock puppet, roll me 2d6.
I'm desperate for double ones. Oh.
Okay, so you throw this hippo, turns and kind of roars at your clutches of goblins, and you like just off screen a poorly made monkey sock puppet splats against one of their faces and just slides down, which only furthers to anger the hippos more. So, well done, Knock.
Survived.
You did. Who? You are currently holding the tasty stone. You are holding the whole reason for this adventure. What do you do?
On top of a double bat.
I've got it. I've got the stone.
Run.
All I can do is escape. Up the tower.
Yeah?
Up the tower.
Okay. There's nothing helping you here, so just a single d6, I believe. And it's a -1 to this.
Excellent. I'm going to aim for the tower.
Yeah.
Didn't
Okay.
die.
Okay, so the goblins begin their frantic escape from this stampede of hippos. One of them with less teeth than it woke up with this morning. And as you run, you kind of point in the direction because you've got to make it out of this moat pond to get to the level with the tower. But you accidentally lead the goblins into a dead end. Bingle, who was covered in blood. What do you do?
Bingle, seeing who run up the top of the tower, is just gonna go,
No! My tasty rock!
and is gonna also then pelt it after who to try and get the rock.
Yeah, is it because you want to eat it?
I want to eat it. I've been
course.
told I haven't eaten for a whole half an hour. I'm hungry.
Okay, give me a 2d6, and it's another -1.
Oh.
Okay. On the one hand, you succeed in kind of catching up with the tooth. On the other, you've rolled a 0. So Bingle dies. And I need you to choose someone else who dies in the process. As a hippo comes erupting out of the pond water that seems far too shallow for a hippo to be hiding in, and then just gets a tooth of goblins.
I'm gonna. Who am I closest to? Who would people say I'm closest to?
I suppose you're closest to who, aren't you?
Yeah, that's the
Because the
thing.
two of you are wrestling the tooth.
I'm basically. I've almost sort of got to who, and I'm like,
Now it's mine!
I've got his leg, and then the hippo just goes and just drags us both down.
Okay, so you all watch as two goblins, like jaws snap around two goblins. They drag beneath the water. The tasty stone goes flying into the air and lands in the hands of Chris's next goblin.
Jam. Jam. Jam.
Okay, Jam steps forward and catches the tooth because Jam is good at catching. What is Jam's defining?
Nark's gonna double-handed back swing and swat the egg rock towards the camp.
Okay. We'll hold that. What's Jam's defining feature?
Sorry.
They've got sliders on. I'll
Could
give
be
you a
handy.
picture in a minute. I'm working on it. I'm
Yeah,
nearly
okay.
done. But
Okay,
they've
so
got
Jam-
sliders.
Jam has sliders. What is Bingle? Who is Bingle's replacement?
Sprinkler.
Sprinkler. Okay.
Oh god.
And what is Sprinkler's defining feature? Dare I ask?
He only has one tooth, but it's like just one of the back ones.
Okay, Sprinkler has one. Okay.
Brilliant.
Okay.
But is it like one of the back ones, but in the front?
No, it's just at the back.
Just
All
on
he's
the
got.
back.
All right.
Or is it just one very large, long tooth? A mono tooth.
It was so
Okay.
big the others couldn't grow through.
Okay, so in which case, Bingle and Who wrestle and are snapped up by the hippo, which then sinks beneath the water. Sprinkler and Jam spring into action, but before they do, Nark, you step up and with your formidable fly swatter, you go to hit the tasty stone.
Double-handed backhand.
Yeah,
proper.
with a hopeful home run. So can I have a 2d6 roll as you're using your heirloom?
Do it.
2 and
No
a
scope.
4. Okay, so something good is going to happen, but describe to me how you sustain an injury.
I believe that Jam, probably being the expert catcher, probably was lining up to catch, and in trying to swat the rock on its way down, Jam managed to claw at Nark's feet rather viciously and take off a few toenails, which are now bleeding profusely.
So you've been...
And I don't think I make contact. Oh no, I suppose I make contact with the rocks as they fall because it's a success. But it obviously doesn't go very far in the
No.
swing. It's not quite as powerful as Nark intended.
You're currently playing Tasty Stone Volleyball. You've managed to keep your uppies. You've kept it airborne. Thorn, God of Blunder.
Wounded.
So currently, two goblins, one goblin ran off with the Tasty Stone, got tackled by a second. They both got eaten by a hippo. The tooth has gone flying into the air. One goblin's tried to home run smack it with a fly swatter, missed and lost his toenails. And the stones, the Tasty Stone is just kind of coming back to earth again. There is a stampede of hippos chasing you, and you're in the shadow of a tower with a very large ponytail coming out of it.
I mean, I have to catch it, right? So that's what I'll do. I mean, I think it's straight D6.
So straight D6 for this.
There you go. Fantastic.
Oh!
Hey! So good.
You
It's a +1, isn't it?
There is a +1, so that's 2 successes. So you managed to catch it, and are you making a run for it back to camp?
And he says, to infinity and beyond! with this magic tooth.
So as you catch the tooth and you make a sprint for it, the other goblins follow suit. Are you heading towards the camp? Are you heading towards the tower? It's one of the goblins.
We have to show up. We have to show up. Well, we're going to show up at the camp, right?
Show up at the camp. Okay, cool. So with the other goblins in close pursuit, you manage to leave the hippo pens behind you, and as you start making your way back towards the camp, let's go back to Jam. Jam with the sliders. What does Jam do as you... So you're currently in the countryside, barreling back towards the war camp with a stampede of hippos in close pursuit. What do you do?
Jam will see if the orc is coming back past. Will onto the end and try and water ski using their sliders to try and get some drag back. That's kind of the goal.
Okay.
That's what Jam's gonna try and do.
Okay, so I would argue that you're trying to catch the orc.
Catch the orc, use the sliders to kind of get momentum.
Sure.
And I'm already in love with that same orc, I can fall in love all over it. This is a whole new goblin.
That's 46.
Right, hit me up with a 4d6.
I'm gonna die.
All your favorite things.
I'm in this to die now. That's it.
4 ones.
Oh!
Wow.
Okay, so in the final act of this Goblin Quest, Jam, you manage to lasso this orc as the orc returns to the camp, and in doing so with your sliders and with all of the remaining goblins kind of clinging to your back for safety, not only do you manage to get a triple success, something good will happen, and then you die. So describe to me your death as the other goblins make it back to the camp.
So holding on to this rope with the other goblins sort of dragging behind, we make it back to the camp, and as the orc kind of turns the last corner, everybody else remembers to let go.
Yeah.
But Jam cannot bring themselves to let go.
Right.
It's the ride of your life.
Jam is following that booty all the way to wherever the orc is going.
So, given that you've got a spare success, let's say that Jam doesn't die, but instead disappears off into the sunset, following the wheelbarrow orc.
Live their best life.
Okay, so with Jam nowhere to be seen, in the last few moments, Chris, who does Jam get replaced with?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So as Yes steps up, between the four of you, Thorn, God of Blunder, Sprinkler, Yes, and the toeless, the toenailless narc. Describe to me how you get famous with the retrieval of this tasty stone.
If I may, Dan, since I caught the toenails, I will feed the toenails to the hungry goblin. I've forgotten Nate's new goblin name. I'm getting confused.
Sprinkler.
Sprinkler. So I'm going to feed the
Sprinkler.
toenails to Sprinkler. Just
Lovely.
before I go off into the distance. Like, take these. Don't eat them.
Okay. Well,
So
By their mind.
well, with that in mind, then, tell you what, let me bring it to a close. As you produce the toenails and the tooth, the discovery of this new food stuff, which prompts a calcium-heavy diet, spreads through the camp like wildfire. It is the answer to the now tiring keto diet, which
it's like truffle, Dan. You scrape it onto your favorite food.
yes, yes, because
Chef's kiss. It's like
Lord-
parmesan.
the Dark Lord appreciates that increasing your intake in calcium creates for stronger and sturdier bones for the soldiers within the Dark Lord's army, which the Dark Lord hopes will bring more beneficial results in next week's war.
Tasty eggs.
Tasty eggs. And yeah, off the back of this recipe discovery, you all become famous in honor of your hard work. You are the first batch of goblins to provide your toenails to the rest of the camp, and as you're all dragged away to the kitchens in the Dark Lord's tower, as more goblins gather to get more tasty stones from the hippo pens at the base of the tower. The sounds of your screamings as your toenails are wrenched from your toes echo through the camp. And with that, congratulations everyone on successfully completing your Goblin Quest.
Yay!
Hooray.
Hooray.
Hey!
What a beautiful story.
How many goblins survived?
For those of us who are tracking, Anton, you made it to Goblin 4.
Yeah.
Nate, you were on Goblin 3. Chris, you were on Goblin 5. And Staff, you were on Goblin 4. So,
Yeah.
yes,
That's a
congratulations.
lot of goblins left.
Not a lot of goblins left, but congratulations to you, Chris, for being the most efficient with your goblins, with your goblin numbers. Yes, thank you.
That was a lot of fun.
Yes, thank you all for playing. That was
Oh dear.
that was a good giggle. Thank you for playing. Thank you for watching. If you like what it is that you just saw and you'd like more stuff like this, then hit the like button, leave some comments, hit the subscribe button, because there's going to be loads of one-shots that are coming out in the very near future. And there's may or may not be a campaign coming out after that. Who knows? It's all just dubious and malicious whispers at this point in time. Thank you to our guests. Once again, Chris and Nate, where can we find you on the interwebs?
Rough Sketch Podcast. If you Google it, or if you Google Pridecaf, Pridecaf, you'll find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all of those things, or whatever social media is still alive, I think. Yeah.
After the muskeling. Very good, very good. And Staff, where can we find you?
On YouTube, Proxy Table Gaming, PTG, and on Twitter, Lucky Sixes, PTG.
Beautiful. And you'll find Anton here and on the Tavern Between Dimensions podcast, where
That's
you
right.
and I work with Carl to talk about all things tabletop RPG nerdy things and nuts.
Correct.
Once again, thank you for watching, thank you for playing, and this has been Goblin Quest.
All in love today. Do it.
Thank you, DM Dan.
Thank you, DM Dan.
All
Cheers,
right.
Dan, that
Take
was
care,
awesome.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye 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 bye.
Hey.
If you liked what you saw, make sure to hit the like button and leave a comment down below. You can really help us out by hitting the subscribe button and the little bell icon for notifications of future uploads.